What's going on, everyone? Wanted to hop in here real quick to give you guys a review and a comparison video on the Enhance Turbo. Start this video by prefacing that I did get this paddle off Facebook Marketplace used for $40, so I can't really give you guys a full review from when you get the paddle brand new to when it's broken in, because I think the paddle that I got was already kind of broken in. And I can't tell you guys how it plays stock because the paddle that I got had weights. So the version that I got is the EPP wide body turbo. On the website of Enhance, they say the wide body swing weight comes in at 108 to 112. And again, I purchased this paddle used off Facebook, and they already came with pre-weighted. And even with the weights at the corner, I feel like the swing weight is not as high and something that I can definitely still very easily swing. So when this paddle came out, a lot of people were kind of first impressions were basing this off the Bread and Butter Loco because of the same face structure that it's both made out of. Both are made out of the EPP foam core. However, there are two versions of the turbo. There is the EPP and the MPP. The EPP core is kind of more standardized in the foam paddle market right now. There are a lot of foam paddles that are made out of the EPP, and then the MPP, there are only a handful. The most noticeable one that you can compare the MPP foam one to is the Luz Inferno, which sounds very thumpy, very thud. You can definitely tell when you hear a Luz Inferno because it's like a thump, thump type of sound. So this version itself, I want to compare it to the Loco. Just again, when it first came out, a lot of people were saying that it plays very similar to the Loco. Right. So comparing the turbo, the EPP turbo, to the Bread and Butter Loco, both paddles sound very similar when the ball reaches the face. It sounds like a very hollow thud sound. Both are extremely powerful. If I had to pick one that was more powerful, I would say the Bread and Butter Loco is a tad more powerful than the turbo, but I don't think that's a huge issue. I think the turbo generates plenty of power, just not as much as the Loco in my opinion. Control wise, I found myself being able to control the turbo a tad better. Don't know how, or maybe it's just I played a little bit different, or but I just felt like my drops, my resets were a little bit better with the turbo compared to the Loco. The other, maybe this could be a factor into it, the shape. They're both technically considered wide bodies, but one, this Loco, I think is actually a more standard wide body shape, whereas the turbo feels almost like a hybrid, but it's considered a wide body. Side by side, the turbo is a little bit longer, and then the Loco is a little bit wider. But besides that, I mean, I don't really think there's a much difference between the Loco and the Enhanced Turbo. Both paddles being so similar, in my honest opinion, who do I recommend this paddle for? I really recommend this paddle for anyone who is looking to enter the foam paddle world at kind of a low cost. I think the Loco at $200, it's kind of expensive. Although I love that paddle and I loved everything that it gave me, I think for $100 cheaper, you can't really go wrong with the Enhanced Turbo. Very similar playing styles with the Loco, maybe a tad less powerful, a little bit more controllable in my opinion, and $100 cheaper. I think one of the other important parts of choosing a paddle, although I can sit here and tell you guys they play very similar, they sound very similar, it all really comes down to the feel. Very similar paddles, but they could feel very differently when you're playing with them. So if you have the chance to demo it, would highly recommend. And if you ever are playing around me, or if you play with me before and you want to demo it, just let me know and I can bring it to our next session together for any Minnesota folks. If you found this review helpful, you can purchase the Enhanced Turbo on Enhanced Pickleball for $99 after using discount code listed here. This will help me get a little kickback to help support the channel and kind of use those funds to purchase more paddles, to put out reviews like this. I would like to get the MPP version and put out a review for you guys, but it gets expensive because I'm purchasing some of these paddles myself. But I find it fun. I find reviewing paddles enjoyable, and kind of comparing it to what I've used but as of late, it seems like it's just the Bread and Butter Loco, again, because that's kind of the standard of foam paddles at the moment. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, please comment, please subscribe if you like content like this, and I'm going to continue to try to crank more of these out and try to be more consistent with it. And until next time, guys, peace.